Good day everyone and welcome back to Super Luigi Galaxy. Last time we defeated Bowser and now we are back at the observatory. Let's see what Rosalina has to say. Welcome back. I knew you would return eventually. Please look down at your feet. It says 15.
This number you see represents the number of power stars you need to access another world. Whether you succeed or fail, just attempting a challenge will show something about your character.
Oh yeah. And yeah, now we have to get the good old purple star comets. And the first one is in the terrace. So, right here at the start. And these missions are a bit more repetitive, so I have been thinking to make this all a little bit more interesting. I will talk about certain things, a bit like a podcast while collecting them. And yeah, for this first episode, Purple Coin Omelette. Yeah, for this first episode, I was thinking of talking a bit about my story, how I became a game developer, and how it's going. So let's enter this planet. And yeah, how I became a game developer, it all really much started already in a child age. I was about 7 years old when I first wanted to make video games, and I used Google, my best friend, to, yeah, to find out how to make video games. And, yeah, I very quickly came across a program called Game Maker, where I then started making my own games. I started off with doing trash games such as S-Bot Adventures, and of course it didn't work out good as a child, but it was a start, and ever since then I've kept going. And so for a little while I was doing Game Maker. I did multiple planets, like multiple projects, like a game that I called Boy, another I called Fly Down Slide. Yeah, really creative names, I know. But that's how I started doing games. And later on I became interested in doing ROM hacks for certain games. And something that I found was that a program called RPG Maker had a kind of preset, I think, for Pokemon. And yeah. Oh, I should have gone further away. Alright. Yeah, kind of preset for Pokemon, the third generation, I think was based on Fire Red and Leaf Green. And I know it technically isn't really a ROM hack, because I'm not doing anything with the ROM of the game. But... or like, I'm not modding... yeah, oh yeah, like... But it's, in a way it is, in a way it isn't. It's like complicated. But yeah, so I started making my own Pokemon fan games, which our big lord and savior Nintendo would definitely not be happy about. Yeah, they would strike me instantly if I tried to publish something like that. But nah, so that's something I did for a while, and I tried making Pokemon games, but I really struggled, because back in the day, I had troubles with code. I just didn't get code at all. With time, I learned more and more about how a game is supposed to work, game design-wise, but really never coding. And that's really what made me stop being able to make a Pokemon game, because that game, for some reason, I had to edit all the dialogues in code, and kid me, just totally wasn't able to do it. Alright, let me just see now where the next purple star is. Oh, we have one everywhere. Let's go to the fountain. But yeah, coding just really broke me for RPG Maker and Pokemon, and I never tried making my own game outside of it. In RPG Maker, I only used it to do a Pokemon fan games, because I really love the Pokemon games. So, yeah, next up, I'd say I did both. Like, after that, I went back to Game Maker for a while, and just experimented there. Tried making some more games. And, yeah. I very much used, what's it called? Oh, I think it's a fast mission, right? 2 minutes, okay. Okay, so I need to concentrate for this mission. Okay, I'm gonna be a bit more quiet during this mission, because I remember this one being quite hard. And we got this one. Another one right here. Oh, there's more coins here. Oh. Okay, okay. Okay, these are the last coins. This actually went better than I thought, so now it's just getting back, so I can continue. I went back to Game Maker. A main reason for me going back to Game Maker is that it had like a really nice visual scripting system too, and a really easy code language. So I kind of was able to make extremely simple games, but like, it was something, you know? I could do jump and runs, I can do Pac-Man like games, I could do RPGs not RPGs, kind of jump around puzzle games inspired by Limbo and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I did this for quite a while. With Game Maker, going to RPG Maker and back to Game Maker, this took me a couple of years, and later on I decided to go back to, or no, actually, after that second Game Maker phase, the big FNAF hype came about. And of course I wanted to join in on the FNAF hype, because I loved the FNAF games as a kid. Back then, when FNAF first came out, I was like 11, 12. So yeah, I wanted to make a fan game, because so many other people were making fan games. I saw stuff like One Night at Flumpty's, Five Nights at Candy's and stuff. So I did my own One Night at Freddy's 4, and at that time when I made that, FNAF was only at its third game, so FNAF 3 was the newest one. And I wanted to make only one night, because I wasn't good enough to make multiple. And so I call it One Night at Freddy's, inspired by One Night at Flumpty's. Also, none of these games ever released, if you're thinking about any of this. And how would smart, like 12, 13-year-old me decide to make a FNAF fan game? Of course, I would use Scratch. And I actually managed to make a FNAF-like game that worked using Scratch. Scratch is just so easy and simple to learn. that even kid me could do a FNAF game with it. I kind of like used, like every animatronic was on a certain timer. They didn't move randomly like they would in FNAF. They were simply on a timer. So they would always move the same routes throughout the night. So you could just learn it, like, from start to finish. And you always knew when is this dude going to attack, and so it was always a perfect strategy. It was really easy, but I made a FNAF fan game. And yeah, after I was done with this, I did some more games in Scratch, like, yeah, very simple. You are a shadow and you have to find other stuff. You have to make, what's it called, like I did a game based on the Impossible Quiz. What more did I do in Scratch? I'm thinking now, what did I do more in Scratch? Like, I did 2 games where you control a character with your mouse, and you have to dodge like a kind of ball that's, or like dodge stuff that is moving through the area. And I did 2 of them. I called those games A Stickman's Trash Adventure 1 and 2. Or no, the first one was A Stickman's Trash Adventure, the other one was Satan's Trash Adventure. So yeah, I was very confused. The second game ended with the good old devil himself falling in love with God. Yeah, don't ask me what kid me was thinking, but yeah, that was my Scratch time. A very questionable time of my life. And after Scratch, I went back to good old Game Maker. Tried making... Alright, no, actually before I went back to... No, I went back to Game Maker, tried making an RPG, and failed. And yeah, this RPG is something you will hear more of later enough times. So after I was done with doing the Game Maker RPG and given up, I tried to go and do an open world, like MMORPG-like game in Unreal, with basically zero coding experience, and I only relied on Unreal's visual scripting. So that was one hell of a thing. Oh, I saw a purple coin. Oh, it's more than one. Yeah, I only relied on Unreal's visual scripting. The best thing I was able to do was taking the pre-made player movement and doing a chest that you can open. And opening it would do nothing but just change the chest model so that instead of being a closed chest, it's an open chest. Yeah, not really the greatest, but something. And yeah, that was that. After that, I wasn't able to do more, so I gave up once again. And I see that I missed some really obvious purple coins here. And yeah, that's that with Unreal and trying that. After that, I went back to Game Maker and tried making that RPG. Or no, wait. Actually, before I would make that RPG, I tried making a puzzle game where you manipulate time, called Lose Time. And that... I got pretty far in that project, but I probably also would have finished it, but my motivation just... I just lost the motivation to do it, sadly. Which eventually made the project not exist anymore. Or like not being worked on anymore. I have it on my computer. I managed to save it. It's like the only thing I still have from all the stories I have told. All the other stuff, yeah, it went down after I changed computers a couple times and didn't back up all my work. So remember, always back up your work. Oh, oh no. Oh no! I'm missing one coin. Where could it be? So... And then I went back to trying to do that RPG. And, yeah. I failed once again, of course. I did. Why wouldn't I fail? Maybe it's in this big chunk? No. Oh, it is! There is the last coin. Perfect. Okay, that's really, really good. Okay, then. And, this... Now, after failing that RPG for the second time, marks a big change in my game development career. Because now I changed to Unity. And pretty much my first big project in Unity was a game called Mental Broken. And I put my soul into that game, and I loved it. Until... Wait, actually, before Unity, before I did Mental Broken, I actually tried doing that RPG once in Unity. Yeah, I tried doing that RPG once in Unity. And then, after failing, I went to Mental Broken. But Mental Broken, I would have finished that game 100%. But the school nurse got to hear from this game. And oh, I'm not doing that comment today. That's gonna be too stressful. I still have stuff to talk about. We're gonna do that comment a different time. I promise. Yeah, the school nurse. Oh, she went crazy on this game. She thought I was, going to become a really bad person and doing bad things at the school. Simply because I did this game, Mental Broken. And she called home. And she threatened to call the police on me. And she wanted me to just stop making this game. A game called Mental Broken, where you can kill people in the game. Also, this game was inspired by Yandere Simulator. So, yeah. She took it really bad, and that crushed me. It totally destroyed me when she made it her life's mission to shut down Mental Broken. And, well, it did. I had to delete the game forever. Like, I did not. Like, I was like a 14-year-old kid at the time. 14, 15. She scared the ever-living shit out of me with, "I'm going to call the police on you if you don't delete this game." Like, she was ballistic. She was crazy. She wanted this game gone as soon as possible. And yeah, it disappeared. And this failure, like, it really drove me into almost a kind of depression almost, because this game was my life. She took my life from me. Like, I had nothing left really. Like, this game just was so much to me. Like, yeah, I did a game based on Yandere Simulator, where you could kill students. Yes, but it didn't mean I wanted to go to my own school and do the same thing. But she just assumed it. You know? And like, deleting this game, how would that even help with what she thought? Yeah, it's really, really, really sad. And after this, I stopped making games altogether for a good while. And yeah, I only first started making games like 2 years later. I came back into game development because I started studying at a game development school where we learned Unity. And before this point, I sucked at programming. I sucked at everything. Like, I couldn't really make games. Like, Mental Broken was just so. The reason I would be able to do it is because it just was so simple. You know? The only thing I really did was just change the scene you are in Unity. You know, it would have been much work, yeah, but I was determined. I would have gone it down, and this school actually made me able to make my own games, and so I did. And of course, the first thing I would do once I really started going programming courses and learning how to make a game was trying to get back to that RPG I have failed making like 500 times. And as you guys can expect, I failed. Of course, I failed once again. But this started a turning point. Because after this, I mostly actually got my games finished after failing this RPG. For the 500th time. So we had a group project in the school. And that group project was called Hike. The trailer from that game is up on my YouTube channel. So from now on, you can actually see what I'm talking about. And yeah, that was a group project we had to do in school for about 4 or 5 months, and it was amazing. Like, it was so great. And yeah, and this also was a really important time for me because with this group project I met a certain person who would become my go-to guy for making games with. He was really good at doing graphics, and I knew how to program and how to do game design from all of my previous experience. So from this point forward, we pretty much always had a project going. Our first project that just the two of us did in our free time, not a school project, our free time, was Sunset Vacation. We wanted to make a game that is a bit inspired by Banjo-Kazooie, and we failed horribly at that. Sunset Vacation has nothing to do with Banjo-Kazooie. You basically just do, like, you are in an island, you have to help the inhabitants of that island, and that's it. But yeah, that game took about 1 year of development, and even though our original goal of making a Banjo-Kazooie-like game didn't succeed, we still made it. Oh no. I should not have thrown away that spring. Yeah, so Sunset Vacation, we managed to do it. It was the biggest game I have done so far. Like, this was a big deal at the time for me. And as soon as we were done with Sunset Vacation, we were like, yeah, we are not going to calm down. We are not going to just chill out now. We have to do a project. And our thinking was, we just did Sunset Vacation, a very open game where you can basically do anything in whatever order you want. And we want to make the opposite. It was happy, you could do whatever you want, it was order, you could just walk around, it was open. So we wanted to make a, like, closed off and really dark game. And with this started the development of Project Dark, which later on became Echoes of Consciousness, which is available on itch.io, and you can see the trailer on my YouTube channel. I also have a video of all the dialogues in the game, which also includes all the cutscenes, because all the cutscenes have dialogues. Voiced dialogues. And it's actually me and the other guy who did the game, who did the voices. The player is voiced by Mr. Graphics guy, and the mystery man, the dark figure, is voiced by me. So yeah. And then we are now at the point where I am right now. And yeah, that point is me about to start at a new school, high school, where I will be studying game design, which kind of is a dream come true for me. My previous game development education was more game programming based, but this one is gonna be what I like the most: game design. What makes a game work? The inner workings and rules of a game. Why a game is fun. How to make a fun experience for the player. How to guide the player through the game. It's like, it's my personal dream come true. And once again, 1 coin. Ah, there it is. So yeah, and that's basically my game development story. We are now where I am. We have tried to do a project now over the last couple months, but no one really had time to do this. So that didn't really become anything. But yeah. We did at least now talk about my game development story. And yeah. And yeah, that's it. And also, that's it for the video. It's a bit longer than it was supposed to be, but yeah, that's it. So everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see ya in the next one.